Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Screwdrivers out, trying to disassemble the panels, trying to find our way back to the mountains, but nothing worked. We tried prying the door with a bow made from the branch of a fig tree, but nothing worked. The train conductor kept repeating and repeating. Time to tell you what to do. It's time I'll tell you what I'm looking for. It's right back in your home. They're gonna take you down, down on the town again. When you stand there all alone, they're gonna run you out of your room again and take you home. Certainty of this particular moment. I'll take you this love before it takes you down again. So you will and you won't. You'll say you do, then again you don't. The marks of time stain your face. Try to find your state of grace. Yep, yep. Don't you try to tell me what to do. I fade into a dream I've made of you. Late at night we'll sit alone. Promises made too late can't point the way back home. So you will and you won't. You'll say you do, then again you don't. The marks of time stain your face. Try to find a state of grace. You can hate what you like as you pull off to the side. Your eyes have left me behind. You always felt so far out of time. You can run in life, you can hide, but someday you'll throw all of that aside. I'll see you downtown with all the people that you met. Every time I hear your voice and the words that you said, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I might break your nose. Everyone you loved will try on all of your clothes.
Lee Ranaldo live on KEXP.
Okay, that's one. That song was called Moroccan Mountains. I'm going to switch guitars for a second.
Cool. The new album is called Electric Trim. Lee Ranaldo playing tonight at Barboza. Definitely check him out.
Come and check us out.
Yeah.
Chamber Trio. That's Raul Fernandez on the keys and electric guitar, and Booker Star Drum on the drums and percussion. This song is called Uncle Skeleton. It's, I thought it was my hippie Western, but I think it's just seasonally appropriate for Halloween. To open up the body's door, you gotta let the skeleton breathe. That's the thing the skeleton's for. So use a scalpel, use a knife, shuck the flesh off in a pile. You gotta keep the skeleton entertained. You gotta make the skeleton smile. Coming in for that landing. It flushes a curtain, it flushes a mask, it flushes a love song to deceive. The skeleton's waiting for a higher task. You mustn't let the skeleton leave. Face bone's connected to the hand bone. Bite the hand that the skeleton feeds. Then put that hand deep in your pocket. You know this skeleton's got needs. That's right, he does. I got needs, you got needs, we all got needs. Skeletons got needs too. Now the only question is, do they include you or not? That is the question. Do they include you or not? Lauren, lately I've been calling. What the likelihood that you're still at this number? I'm falling, the devil's in the stalling. Even from across this ocean, I can still call Lauren. Connected to the hand bone, bite the hand that the skeleton feeds. The skeleton's waiting in the wings. You mustn't let the skeleton lead. So even if you're tired of losing, maybe you believe in your skin. Lay down an easy card and let the skeleton win. Calling to see if you're still falling. I wonder if the same things are true that we said before. And now I feel I'm endless, I'm soaring. Every night it's the same thing that you do. We fall, and then we call.
Lee Ranaldo live on KEXP. The new album, Electric Trim, playing tonight at Barboza. Also, a documentary of the new album is being shown tonight at the Gig Harbor Film Festival. It's called Hello, Hello, Hello. Lee, thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
So glad to have you.
I just realized we did the wrong set order there.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's all good, however you want to play it. The new album, Electric Trim, is so good. It's your third proper solo album in the last few years. The first two you played with The Dust, which was your band, and now you're just being billed as Lee Ranaldo. And you've worked with a ton of different musicians on this new record, and you even had a co-lyricist. Can you talk about the process of recording this and how it came together?
Sure. This record is really a collaboration between myself and Raul here, playing the keys and electric guitar. We had met in Barcelona a few years ago and did a small project and decided to work on a longer project of original songs when we could. And so we started working together. This is pretty much our collaborative project in terms of all the music, and it's a real studio album. You know, there were never a band playing in a room or anything like that, although all the guys in The Dust, Steve Shelley, Alan Lick, Tim Lunsell are on it, Nels Klein is on it, Sharon Van Etten sings on 6 songs, I think, and Kid Millions plays drums on a couple from the band Oneida. So we had a lot of collaborators, but mostly it was the two of us in the studio working on the music. And my friend Jonathan Lethem, American author of quite some renown, I suppose you would say. We're kind of old acquaintances, and I brought him in on the process to try and make the lyric writing aspect of it as experimental as what we were doing on the music in the studio.
What components of the lyrics are yours and his? How did that come together?
It's almost different song by song. Mm-hmm. That last song we did, Uncle Skeleton, the choruses are mine and the verses are mostly his, and there's a really strange story about those lyrics. But in some cases I needed just a couple lines. In some cases it's really 50-50 or more. We worked in a lot of different ways and we had this interesting dialogue about the whole process of lyric writing and what it can be. And, for me, I wanted it to not have to spring the entire project from my head. I wanted collaborators because music is such a social thing. And so with Jonathan, the idea was, I was thinking about when Dylan was working with Jacques Levy, for instance, or I don't know, there's a couple other examples of co-lyricists flying around out there. Robert Hunter and the Grateful Dead, that's the other big one for me. I was kind of renewing my acquaintance with the Grateful Dead and realizing that one of the cool things about that band is they had this dedicated lyricist, member of the band, not on stage. And I just wanted someone else to give me some other points of view on that, as Raul was doing with the music, giving me lots of different textures and points of view on what my music could sound like, I guess.
And the songs that Sharon Van Etten sings on, they're so nice. Your vocals blend really well together. How'd you end up working with her on this?
Raul and I were sort of making lists of people we thought would be fun to invite into the studio, and some couldn't make it and some could. And I didn't know Sharon. I'd seen her play a few times and heard her records, and I knew that people were really digging what she was doing. And we kind of called her up out of the blue, and I also didn't know she was a big Sonic Youth fan. So, we kind of travel in the same circles but didn't know each other. Mm-hmm. And so she said yeah right away, and we had the ideas for her to sing on 2 or 3 songs. And when she came to the studio, things just flowed so well. I always like a female vocal matched up against mine. It kind of works nicely. And she ended up singing on 5 or 6 songs in the end, and we had super fun sessions with her.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that you had a documentary that was made around the making of this album too. Hello, Hello, Hello. Mm-hmm. How did you end up doing a documentary around this album? Well,
I didn't do it. A guy named Fred Rydell did it, and he's an old buddy of mine. We went to film school together and stuff. And when he first heard that Raul was coming over, he wasn't thinking at that point about this, but he said, I have no idea how a record is made. I don't have, even though I've played guitar, this was him talking, I don't have any idea. Can I come over and watch and maybe shoot a little stuff? And he came the first week we started recording. And because Raul lives in Barcelona, we recorded kind of sporadically over the course of about a year. And he just kept coming back. And after the first couple of days, it was like we didn't even notice he was there. And he filmed the whole process. And because this was a record that was done in kind of a studio style, never more than one person playing at a time, it the movie doesn't have the payoff of like you seeing a band like rocking out or anything like that, but instead it captures this very these days, at least for the bands in the circles I travel in, a very unusual kind of process of how to put a record together, building it up one track at a time, seeing what it needs, adding layers, taking layers away, finding the right situation for each song, the right setting for each song.
Were you traveling to different locations during that filming?
No, mostly we worked in New York, and we did some stuff at Raul's studio in Barcelona, in Spain. Or maybe it's in Catalunya these days, but we mostly recorded in New York and mixed a lot of it in Barcelona.
Mm-hmm. And some of the music videos that have come out for some of the songs have had pieces of the film in them, right? Including right. Moroccan Mountains, that song that you opened with today. Have you traveled to Morocco? What is that song about?
I don't know. It's kind of loosely poetically about Morocco. Yeah, I've traveled there a bunch. Not recently, but I had traveled there quite a few times. And I was sitting on this carpet that we brought back that was like a blood red carpet, and it had these yellow outlines of mountains on it. And it just kind of infused in the chord progression when I was working on it. And, so it's not directly about Morocco, but somehow Morocco had a lot to do with it in one way or another. But we mostly worked in New York while we were making this record, aside from some stuff in Barcelona.
Yeah, cool.
And then Fred actually traveled to Morocco for the first time recently, and so he shot all the Moroccan footage that's in that video.
That's what
just
I was
like in the last year. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Love the new record. Again, it's called Electric Trim, playing tonight at Barboza. I'd love to hear a couple more songs from it.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to play you a couple more.
Excellent.
That sounds cool.
Lee Ranaldo live on KEXP.
Okay. This is called Circular, and it's about the daily routines we all go through, I guess. You wake up in the morning, you have your coffee, you go out, you do your thing, you go to work or whatever it is, you come home at night, you have a glass of wine, you go to bed, you wake up, you have your coffee. And I was just kind of noticing those everyday things in my own life, and I don't know, just questioning, at a certain point you're like, well, isn't there more than that going on here? And, of course there is, but anyway, Circular. that you're right as rain. Yes, you can be alone again. Yesterday, the first thing in your morning, you were reading the papers. It was all about that false dawn again. But you're right as rain. Hold on to a sane view of your own. It's always the same ending. Be here or be gone. One more guitar change.
Lee Ranaldo live on KEXP, playing tonight at Barboza, tomorrow heading up to Vancouver. And the documentary for the making of the new album Electric Trim is playing at the Gig Harbor Film Festival today. It's called Hello, Hello, Hello.
Okay. My song for the resistance. We were working on this song last year before Election Day. Stop me if you've heard this one before. And the filmmaker actually was in the studio, and he said, well, you know, if by some strange chance Donald Trump is elected president, this could be the song of the resistance. I mean, you know, this is called Thrown Over the Wall, and I guess he was riffing on the wall imagery and all the headline information Jonathan stole for the lyrics. And so all through the fall, I was introducing it as my song for the resistance, figuring that on Election Day I'd have to come up with a new introduction because we'd have a lady in the White House. But that didn't happen, and so it's actually become my song for the resistance, and my song for looking ahead 50, 75, 100 years, looking at equal rights, looking at climate protection, looking at all the things we've worked so hard for, and not looking back to 1940s white male impression of what America or the world could be. Are you still hard, my friend? Or maybe no, broken glass and you're off in a rage. Cities pass, or maybe not. Show us what you've got. From my place to your embrace, show what you got. Hello, hello, hello. It's always a rise and a fall. The real deal certainty of it all. Are you still hard? Show what you got. We use the sea to hide our submarines, disguise our faces with names. We use the night to conceal our dreams, clouds to hide our aeroplanes. Call an eclipse to blot out black moon, floodlight to cover the sun. We set a lamb to confront the war, a child to unholster the gun. Thrown over the wall, thrown over the wall, thrown over the wall again. Thrown over the wall, thrown over the wall. Thrown over the wall again. There you have it.
Awesome. Ranaldo live on KEXP. Thrown Over the Wall was that song. You mentioned that's a song for the Resistance. You've been making music a long time. You've seen a lot of things, either with Sonic Youth or your own solo work. Have you ever felt like you've needed to respond to current events like this before?
Well, I mean, even in this case, you know, the response was kind of secondary or backhand because we weren't really responding to current events as much as kind of writing out of what was in our heads, and then the director sort of framing it in this certain way gave it this kind of, I don't know, almost political edge for us to sing and for me to talk about on stage. But It's hard to write political music unless you're really a dedicated protest music writer. It's like you don't want to write music that's, universal songs of protest. Hard rain's going to fall, blowing in the wind. They're applicable whenever. But it's. I guess the risk is of if you're writing about current events, of them becoming like yesterday's news or day-old paper. It's hard. So I guess with Sonic Youth, our whole thing was always about the politics of the personal. Like, try and get your own little house in order, and hopefully that'll just ripple out and reflect on other people. And so we never really wrote overtly political songs. Maybe just a couple particular instances, Swimsuit Issue or Youth Against Fascism, something like that. And this one just kind of came about by happenstance. And it was at a time when I was very motivated and like politically active and informed, and so it was a good time to be able to talk about it to audiences.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like it will become dated either,
I hope
with
not.
the passing of time. So
Yeah.
I think it's well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here today. Thank you for playing with us.
Okay.
And
It's always great to come here.
Yeah, so happy
It's
to have
first time
you.
in the new digs. This is
I know.
fun.
What do you think?
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's a lot bigger than the
It's
old
a lot
space.
bigger. Yeah. It's a
And you
lot
can do your
bigger.
laundry and stuff.
We should have brought our string section.
Oh, yeah. Well, next time, you let us know. Go see them tonight at Barboza. Pick up the new album, Electric Trim, and see the documentary, Hello, 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 when you are able to. And keep it tuned right here to the station where the music matters, 90.3 FM, KEXP, Seattle.
Discover new music at listener-powered kexp.org.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?